Okay, here we created a virtual machine where this virtual machine stores in the in this machine, means in this server only. In this server only it is stores. Okay, and runs if your server is running. So for example, this is running, so you can see the symbol. This this Linux machine is running. Okay, Linux machine is running, but where it is consuming resources, means CPU, RAM, and storage, where it is consuming from this machine only. Okay, so here it is as per the diagram also. This is the machine I created and I'm running this virtual machine. It means it consumes my CPU, RAM, and disk space. Okay, so it consuming the servers only. Disk space, it depends on where you said store the data. That's it. Normally CPU, RAM is the main important here. But from where I'm looking at, from here I'm managing my virtual machine. From here I'm managing virtual machine from my desktop. Okay, next. I'm managing from here. So see, like this I'm managing. So this is the virtual machine. Still not showing any sign of it. Something went wrong with that one, so that's it is not showing. I can power off it, the machine. Yes. Okay. So this is another virtual machine. This is very take very less space. This is only for testing purpose only. See, this is a some machine, tiny VM. Okay, tiny voice. It is the very small one, which is I created, just like you created a machine. Okay, okay. So that is a machine powering off. Actually, if you want to see how to install, also we can do it. No problem. But again, it will take a lot of time. Again, another 15-20 minutes. So it is booting. My Linux, not your Linux. Don't know what happened. See that one later. Okay, guys. Next part of this one. So, guys, one thing is important. According to the virtualization or server virtualization, not only a virtualization, server virtualization. Names are different. Means VMware is organization and vSphere is our product, right? So this is vSphere we are using. For example, you want to work with Citrix. Citrix is an organization just like a VMware and Microsoft or a Red Hat. So Citrix is also an organization, very big company, and Citrix, their product is Xen servers. Their product is Xen servers. Okay, same thing as Microsoft. Microsoft, their product is Hyper-V. Okay, Hyper-V is little bit different of accesses. There's a few conditions also there, so we'll see that one. Okay, um, Proxmox, Proxmox VE. So these are all either you paid or a free, whatever it is. The process is same. What is the common process is here? There is a server, means there is a machine. Server means a physical machine. In that one, you install vSphere or Xen server or a Proximox EV, you installed it. Once you are after installation, it may display some URL. Okay, no user interface, generally very less user interface to create a virtual machine, because server stores in a servers in a server room, separate room. Data centers, it will be there in a data center, means it's a multiple servers in a single space. Okay, single space, not a single machine, so single space. It's located in a data center. Okay, so you can't have a physical access of each and every time of the server, right? You have to access remotely. How to access it remotely? By using a desktop tools, if possible. Desktop tools are there. Xen app is there, like a Xen Center. Zen Center app is there. So then using that, you can able to connect. So Zen client tool will be there. You can connect it for a application. VMware also, I told VMware client is there. You can connect it. And next one, after upgradation, means the new versions, mostly they supported by URL. So like a HTTP colon s sorry HTTPS colon slash slash, either you give a server name or IP address, so you will log in with the username and password. So you can able to access the server console just like this. We are accessing a server console. Okay, and then we can manage, and also we can monitor the server just like host. It's you see we can see shutdown, reboot. Like I can shut down my remote server, vSphere server. I can shut down it from here also. I can manage the virtual machines and their licenses or packages users from here. Okay, because of direct machine not giving any user interface to do something. Very less we can able to do it. Usually for network related and basic passwords related. Okay, if you want to create a virtual machine, you should come to this one and you have to create a virtual machines. Okay, so this is about your just before whatever the things we discussed. Okay, so this is a VMware, vSphere, or any machine. So now I don't have a chance to show you that one. Earlier we have a Zen server also there, but I deleted that Zen server. I think, yeah, I deleted Zen server, and I didn't install. I think this Proxmox also. I think I removed it. Okay, it is there or not. So now we don't have time, because if you switch on another virtual machine, 4 GB, 4 GB, my RAM will be slow, and we will get disconnected also. We will get a lot of problems. So we don't take a risk. Okay. So this is it. And what are the next things we can able to see in a VMware vSphere? Okay. So this is the virtual machines first. Next one is storage. Actually, we should go to the networking, but I'm going to storage first. Okay, so these are the storages. Data store one by default. I got this one because of my first hard disk. Okay, next OS data store and VM data store. These two are I given a name like this. Okay, so we can access these data stores if you want it, like a data store browser. So this is a data store one. So OSA image like this. This is a OVA, means it's a already virtual machine. It is in a export import type of format only. So we can import it anytime. This is a virtual machine related files. This is the virtual machine is there now, like that. Next, this is another data store. So here also I put a name. So this is my image. So how to upload an image into this one? So separate. I want to do it. So upload. Click on upload. Find out which image you want to put it, like ISO image. Like I want to create a Windows 10, or I want to create a okay, I want to Windows 10 or a Windows server, or maybe a Linux server, or maybe a free NAS or a Puppy OS. Okay, Proximox inside. Okay, I want another virtual vSphere, another vSphere, or another Xen server inside. Okay, so like that I can upload any images. Why am hesitating? Why? Because of sizes. See, this is small size. Okay, this is a small size. This is very big size. It is okay size. Okay, this is okay size. But cent wise already it is there. See, this is the 5 GB, 4 almost 5 GB, 5 GB, 5 GB, 5 GB, 4.6 GB, 8 GB. Okay, this is only 400 MB. Okay, this is 1.5 GB, 500 MB, 500. Okay, and this is no, not a proper adder. It is a proper adder only, but I have to remove this name. It's a Proximox 7.0. 1 GB, almost like 1 GB. This is the 90 MB. It's a puppy C monkey full driver like that. So it's a small one. So I'm going to Red Hat 6.2 Unix. Okay. So like that, you can put it. This is my old Windows 10, almost more than 4 GB. Okay. I'll put it this C monkey. Just open. So what it is doing? It is uploading into my data store. What is a data store? It's just a name. That's it. So if I add a more hard disk, if I will show you multiple hard disk here, it is physically added, but really how real environment is there, I can create it, but it is not the time. Okay, just a really need, and you really need a patience. If you see, this is my one hard disk, two, three, totally three hard disks are there. Instead of combining these disks in the VMware. So I put a different names for this one also. See, it is images are uploaded. See, for a first one I put a data store one. Automatically it came. For second one I put a voice data store. So I want to store my operating system files. Any virtual machine I created, I will store in a separate hard disk. So these are my virtual hard disk. Okay, for my virtual hard disk. Yeah, this is something which is I didn't create properly. Okay, these are my virtual machines and their files. Okay, even if you not only that, we can able to upload OVA files kind of stuff also. What is that OVA files? It is pre-created virtual machine, means already created virtual machine is already created in that one. So just we are exported into different format, like I'll open some machine here. For example, this is my very important machine is there. I have a data in that one. So go to the file, export to OVA, OVF or OVA. So what happened? This entire machine kept in a single file. So you can transfer the file to anyone. So they will extract it. They will extract it. Okay, they will extract it, and they can recreate the virtual machine back. So that is called a OEA. So very simple it is. Another way you can tell that one is a open virtualization format. OEF means, okay. Um, Remember, guys, I'm not confusing you. Just I will be back for a storage again. But remember this thing. New. Okay. This is my virtual machine. This is my virtual machine. In the virtual machine, I install a operating system. I install a operating system. I install some applications. I need necessity settings. Okay. So like that, you need a this application. Someone is need an application, so you no need to install operating system and an application and required settings. You don't need to do it anything. Very simple. You take this virtual machine in your environment and start working on it. Start working on it, right? Because it's a virtual machine. Take my virtual machine, use it in your place, in your system or in your server. Put your this virtual machine, so then you can start working with it. No need of installing OS, no need of installation of application. Directly you can use the application. Okay, so Guys, understand this thing? I have a virtual machine. Actually, really we done. Really I done so many times. But last time, one time I done. So I install a Oracle on a Linux environment. Okay, Oracle 12Z. It's a 12G or 11G. Both are installed. Sorry, not a 12G. It's not 12G. 12C. It's 12G is remote. No, no. No 12G. It's 12C only. So 11G is there. 12C is there. C means cloud. Okay. So two virtual machines actually I created. One is 12C with 12C and all. Both are in a Linux format only. Okay. So one of our student is moving from like going back to hometown. She need a practice. So what I done? I took a machine and copied into her machine in our laptop and open. I put all settings, backend settings once I checked it and make it run. So that's it. Even I copied this one into her laptop and make it run. So this is with operating system Linux operating system CentOS only and Oracle application, Oracle DB application. I installed it and make all the settings to run. So virtual machine with everything is inside. Guys, understand this part? This part. Yes, sir. Okay. So in other part, take the machine and run the machine in your place. Okay. Here, if you have a refrigerator, fridge, or a washing machine, or a AC kind of stuff, whatever the name we put it, that we call it as a appliance, right? Electrical appliances. Okay. Electrical appliances, home appliances, we call it. So this is we called as a virtual appliance. This we call it as a virtual appliance. What is virtual appliance? Ready-made virtual machine. Very simply say ready-made virtual machine. No need of install OS, no need of install applications, no need to do anything. Simply take the virtual machine, import the virtual machine, start working with the virtual machines. Okay. But every virtual machine having a different files, right? So one virtual machine having a multiple files, mainly at least two or three files will be there. So if you can see, this is my virtual machine and it contains so many files. Okay, of course these are all log files, but these are all machine related files only. VMX, virtual hard disk file, RAM files, like that. So we have a multiple files regarding a virtual machine. So what to do? So you can export this virtual machine as a OVF or a OVA format, means in a single file format you can export it. Export from your side, okay, as a OVF or a OVA format. So then you have to import. You have to import into other machines directly. I take a OVA or a OVF formatted file. So double click. It is asking for a, do you want to import into VMware workstation or a VMware vSphere or like that. So we have to import it. So readily you'll get a machine. Okay, that is called a virtual appliance. You want, you can put in a Google also. Virtual appliance. Pre-configured virtual machine image. vSphere is a cloud computing virtualization platform. Very good. Because sometimes in interview also they will ask this type of questions by mixing something into something. Okay. So, okay, I will tell that one. So, what is a virtual appliance is pre-configured virtual machine image ready to run on a hypervisor. So, no need to do any installation of OS and applications readily. Ready-made you can be able to use it. So, that's a virtual appliances. If you see here, I'm going to create a new virtual machine. So if you have a file like OEF or OVA, just select that one. Next, so drag and drop that particular image here. Okay, or you can browse it. Actually, it is not showing a browse from my location, so we can directly um, go to this. Yeah, like this Nagi OS. I said no, OVA, Tiny VM, Workbench OVA, something it is. Even I forget about what it is also. Okay, okay, like that we can drag and drop in this one and put a name, put some name, then go to the next. It is showing you have to select something. See, it is showing my physical mission only, but the size of these missions are very high, so it will occupy my physical machine also. Okay, physical to physical, like that we can deploy it. Sometimes it may require a license agreement, deployment options. So these things we do it, but no need to install OS and a application inside. So this is how we can able to do it. Okay, this is a third option. Register a existing virtual machine means already I have a virtual machine, and no one is using that one, so I put a name and take the virtual machine. I'll put it in so I deleted only the name only, but machine is there in my storage. Mission is there in my storage but not actively showing on my screen. So I just put a name, I browse that virtual machine, I can activate and run it. So no need of delete from directly in that one, and no need to create again. Yeah, someone asked in a very variety question, that is, sometimes you will get a questions like this also. So vSphere is a cloud computing virtualization platform. So then there is a, like, trainers like us, like trainers will give a different way of answers, but in the interview you can't give that answers, right? Guys, again, so if you want to send a message, send in everyone. Okay, to send to everyone, so everyone can able to see your questions also. Okay, but this is a very good question. This type of question, if you got in an interview, what to do? First of all, I will explain separately. vSphere is a server virtualization, that's it. So we keep it up to virtualization part. What is a cloud? Cloud, different type of clouds are there. One of the cloud is infrastructure as a service. What is infrastructure as a service? Accessing virtual machines through network, or accessing infrastructure through a network. It is look like same, right? So vSphere, you create a virtual machine, access the virtual machine. In a cloud, you create a virtual machine, access the virtual machine. Okay, so lot of people don't know about cloud. Yes, infrastructure as a service, very good, very good. Okay, so lot of people don't know cloud is a separate part, and our virtualization is separate part, but both are the same platforms only. If you see like this, yeah, I will draw on the screen. Carefully look at this one. Actually, if I got a chance to tell cloud in my way, means I need at least one full off day, means 3 to 4 hours I need it. Okay, so then I will explain the step by step steps, means from bottom to top. Okay, I build myself like a for my we have a lab in my previous organization. So we build a private cloud. Okay, in a lab environment, not a real time environment. Okay, so see, this is my virtualization server, vSphere virtualization server. It is not doing any cloud kind of stuff. Cloud is an application. Okay, cloud is very simple. Cloud is a interface. Cloud is an interface, or a web interface, or a web application. This is my actually infrastructure. This is my actual infrastructure, because I virtualized my servers using a vSphere or any hypervisor. Okay, any hypervisor you can use. Zen servers you can use, Hyper-V you can use it. Proximox you can use it. I make this one as a virtualization server. Purpose is to create a virtual machine and run the virtual machines in the server. Multiple type of virtual machines or multiple guest OS I can able to run. Multiple applications I can able to run. So this is my infrastructure. But user, that is the main point. Okay, normal explanation, guys. We need a little bit patience. Okay, so forget about this cloud. Okay, forget about this cloud. I will tell the cloud. Here is this draw kind of stuff. Okay, forget about the cloud. So we'll see because this is also part of virtualization. I'm not going outside, guys. This is the person means user. What is the purpose of a service? To give a service to a user or a customer, right? This is the user. This user want a virtual machine. So Windows 10 and two processors is requirement. I'm telling is requirement. 4 GB RAM, 4 GB RAM, 500 GB hard disk, 500 GB hard disk. With this one, he want a virtual machine. A user. What he done? He asked to the administrator. Administrator sitting here. He send a mail to the admin. I want a virtual machine with this configuration. I want a virtual machine with this configuration. Create a virtual machine and give me access. You guys understand this point? Is a admin. Yes, sir. Okay. And he asked admin to want a virtual machine. Very good. Okay. So he log into vSphere just like us. We log into this vSphere and create a virtual machine. So while you create a virtual machine, Anup created a virtual machine. It is showing 2 GB RAM, but he changed it to 1 GB RAM. It is showing 16 GB RAM, disk space, but he keep it like that. Of course, we can change like a maybe 30 GB hard disk space or maybe 160 GB hard disk space, right? We can change it. Okay. RAM also, RAM, CPU, number of cores, single core or multi core, like that. We can able to modify the settings, right? So admin is modifying and he install a Windows 10 and given access to user. So user is getting virtual machine. User is getting a virtual machine with the configuration. So who is asking? User is asking admin to admin. So admin is create a virtual machine and give the access to user. Guys, understand this one? It's a step by step. Understand that? Yes, sir. Very good. Okay. This is a server. This is the user. And this is a admin console. Okay. This is admin console. So I'm putting admin. This is user. Okay. Slowly understand. I'm telling virtualization. Last point is cloud. So compulsory. So no problem. So I will ask Sir to tomorrow. I will take class. Even my throat is not working properly, but it's okay. Okay. So listen carefully. This is my server one. So user request admin. Admin log into server and create a virtual machine. And he given access to user. Now the question is how user access this virtual machine. That is the question. How user can access this virtual machine. Admin means he has a console, no problem. He has a console, he can click it and he can open the virtual machine. Okay, he can open the virtual machine, no problem. But normal regular users, we don't give root passwords or any other passwords or a server access, we don't give, right? For users, what we give? Access of virtual machine only. They should access a virtual machine, not a server or a server consoles. How you access a machine, remote machine? Forget about virtual machine. I'm asking, how do you access a remote server or a remote machine you will access? Tell me. You already done that practical. Even in a Linux also you done practical at least. In Linux you done that practical. I know because yesterday someone asked me that. Tell me. Guys, everybody install Linux, right?
Yes, sir.
Then
Yes,
how
sir.
do you access Linux remotely? Which application? Very good.
22.
Very good. That's why I'm asking. Everybody knows answer. All questions of what I'm asking, you know answer. That's why I'm telling answer. Okay. Putty because it's a Linux, right? Mainly Linux or Unix with the main important is SSH protocol. What is the port number for SSH? Better not to attend my interviews.
20, sir.
SSH port number
20, sir.
20, 22,
22.
22. Telnet port number. Telnet
23.
23, 23. Good. Okay.
23.
2021 FTP 25 SSH. Sorry, 25 SMTP. Port number, guys. Last time I asked, you must everybody go through port numbers. Okay. So you are using
Yes, sir.
Linux or Unix, Telnet or SSH. Putty is a easy application, right? You can open the Putty, type it, and you can get it. Okay. If you are using a Windows in generally, so how to access a Windows machine? It's a GUI mod, right? Windows is a GUI mod. Putty is a CLI mod because Linux and Unix we access as a CLI only. Windows client or a server, whatever it is. How do you access a remote? Because it's a Windows. It's a desktop environment. Is generally we use remote desktop. Normally CLI mode if you want Telnet, and powerful one is PowerShell. Okay, remote PowerShell is also there. So using a PowerShell, you can connect a remote machines, and of course server like structure. Um, Windows Server Managers also there. Remote server managers kind of stuff is there, but I'm not going to deep in. For Windows servers, um, Windows admin center also there. Okay, verify that one for you. Okay, I'm separately writing that one. I'm not doing this one. Okay, this is a admin center, not for a Windows machine kind of Windows server purpose only. Specifically Windows servers, Windows Server Manager, um, remote RSAT tools are there. Means same server, remote server tool only. Same thing, server manager only with some application kind of stuff. But basically SSH like a putty kind of stuff, or a Windows remote desktop, VNC. Okay? VNC kind of stuff. What is a VNC? Is a real VNC. You can try real VNC, Tiger VNC. like the lot of VNC servers and clients are there. So you can view remotely whether it is Linux or a Windows system. Using VNC also, we can able to connect and view remotely. So that is another software we can able to use it. AnyDesk, AnyDesk is we don't use AnyDesk, but in general, okay. So this is how user is can able to access virtual machine. So here it is, user request a VM, admin log into the server, admin log into the server and create a virtual machine and give the access, and he tell user to how to access virtual machine, how to access virtual machine. He will tell which IP address, which username, password, he will access the virtual machine. So this is basic one. Okay. Next next if in case, if I have a multiple servers like this, every infrastructure has a limitation, right? So like that, I have a multiple servers. So each server I have to log in separately because of to manage these servers, right? So admin has to log into each server to manage or create a virtual machines from the console. Okay, from his desktop he has to log into each and every server. It is very difficult, right? It is very difficult to manage multiple servers with a multiple consoles like this. This is a one console. I open multiple consoles like this. It is very difficult to manage the multiple machines with a separate window, right? So what I'm going to do is I put a some application. This is a server. This is also a some server. Okay, it is a central server. For example, I'm using a vSphere. It is a VMware product. So this central server also must be VMware product. So that is called a vCenter. That is called a vCenter. That is called a vCenter. This is a nothing but a application. vCenter is a nothing but a application. We install in a particular machine or a server or a virtual appliances. We can take a virtual appliances also. Very simple. vCenter is a application. Using that application, we can directly connect all these machines. Okay, all these machines. So we can manage all the servers from single application or a single server, single machine. Guys, understand this point? I have a, if I have one machine, one time we can log into console. If I have 10 machines, 10 times I have to open the console for each server. Instead of that one, I have a centralized server. So that is called a vCenter because I'm talking in a VMware manner. Okay. Company changes, name changes, concept is same. Concept is same. Okay. Company changes, name server will be changes. Okay. So here, okay. Okay. So here we see vCenter, vSphere. Guys, sorry, because this throat pain and feverish, my mind is stopped. Where we are? vCenter. Guys, understand vCenter concept? Through vCenter, I connected to multiple servers. Means multiple servers can manage from single server or a single application. Guys, understood this point or not?
Yes, sir. Yes.
Okay,
Yes, sir.
good. Okay. Now, what I'm going to do is, I'm an administrator, right? I'm an administrator. I log into this console only. Admin log into single console instead of log into multiple servers consoles. So just I'm logging into vCenter application console only from his desktop only. He's not moving anywhere. He's not moving anywhere. Just you log into the console and look at which server is available. Means more CPU availability, more RAM availability. Okay, so where which server is more available, so better, which is performing good. So I will create a virtual machine in the particular server only. Where from vCenter. From vCenter, so I open vCenter console and I create a virtual machine in the server only. So always virtual machines are in a servers only. Remaining is interfaces only. Remaining are interfaces, direct interface or maybe vCenter interface. So I log into vCenter interface and I create a virtual machine, and I given this virtual machine access to user. Same thing, user request a virtual machine to administrator, and admin log into vCenter and create a virtual machine and given access to user. So what is changed from my previous example to this example? Anyone tell me? What is my previous one? See, previous also I tell same story, and I told same story again. User got a virtual machine, admin create a virtual machine. But this time what happened? Any answer? No problem. Try. If you try now, you will get to understand that one. Really, because you didn't see how it is you can able to create. Even I can't show you because vCenter will take 12 GB RAM minimum. My physical machine is 12 GB RAM. I don't have that one. So if I'm in a Pune, definitely I will try at least. Now that time is also not there. Guys, fast. Tell some answer. What admin is done now? What admin is done earlier to create a virtual machine? Process. Oh, what happened, guys? Tell me something.
I'm not understanding what you are asking.
I explained two things, right? The first one is user requested virtual machine to admin. Admin created a virtual machine in the server and give the access to user. That's the first one I told. In a second one, I told
Can provide centralized.
centralized access. Very good. Second one, I told I have a multiple servers, individually difficult to log in each server. So what I done? I put a vCenter. vCenter is a application, VMware vCenter. The product name is VMware vCenter. It is nothing but a application, and as well as a appliance is also there. Okay, vCenter server. It is server means it's a server application. Okay, so using this application, I can connect multiple servers. Okay, if I want to access any server, no need to go to server, directly connected to vCenter, so I can access any server. So I can access any server. Next, if I want to create a virtual machine, okay, that's it. That's it. So we'll take a scenario. So what is the vCenter? vCenter is centralized administration of
Servers.
all our virtual servers, means physical servers, vSphere servers. Okay, it is administrate all our vSphere servers, centralized server. Okay, up to now. So there are a lot of things it will do just up to now. Next, again we'll go to the second scenario. User requested virtual machine to admin. Now admin is what admin is doing, connected to vCenter and created a virtual machine wherever the he want to create, wherever the more space is available, he create a virtual machine in the server only, vSphere server only, he created in the vSphere host only, server only, and he created a machine and give the access to user. So in a first and second, user requested virtual machine to admin and user got a virtual machine access, right? Outcome is not changed. Only thing is, where is the admin? Is login to individual server or a centralized server? That's the only difference. Okay. So no problem. If you don't get it, also still no problem. But in those two cases, in these two cases, admin is creating virtual machine. Understand this point at least. In the both the cases,
Yes, sir.
administrator is creating virtual machine,
Yes,
not
sir.
user. Understand, right? In both the cases, admin is creating virtual machine. How we creating, we don't mind. But admin is creating virtual machine, not by user. Okay. Now, this is the next development of my organization infrastructure as a service. So what it is, I have a some server, a web application, and maybe I install some application inside. Okay. Of course, guys, again I'm telling, we are in the VMware product environment. Okay, so each company changes, their names are changes, concept is almost same, maybe one or two changes, but max to max concept is same. Okay, once you understand basics of one environment, you will learn any environment. I know SCAC means like a system center, Microsoft environment, so I can easily understand VMware and Xen servers easily. I didn't done much in Xen server, but VMware I already touched. VMware last part, cloud part I didn't touch, but I learned, but I didn't touch. Practical and I done. There's a lot of cloud suits are there. So old version I'm telling, and now also it is there. Only cloud version it is vCloud directory. vCloud directory. vCloud VMware vCloud directory or a director. Okay, vCloud directory. It is not good. So this is a cloud. Okay, this is a some server or application or a web application. It is also a web application or a virtual appliances only. What it is do, it connects these vCenters, multiple vCenters. Infrastructure is very big. My infrastructure has become very big now. I started with a single server, then it has become multiple servers, and to manage vCenter servers, I become cloud service provider. So vCloud directory is an application. In these cases, what happens? I have a user again. This user want a virtual machine. What he will do? Log into vCloud directory, and he will create a virtual machines. He'll create a virtual machines as per his requirement. As per his requirement, he will create a virtual machines. As admin, I given him permission. Take this username, password, and this is the limitation of your resources allocation. You can create how many virtual machines you want to create it, but within this limit. Normally, you want to store a data in your server, you have a limit, right? So 550 GB, 100 GB, 200 GB limit is there. So I create a user for a person or a user account, and I given a limit. So I said, I'm an administrator. I said, you create your own virtual machine. Don't ask me. Okay? Don't ask me. You create your virtual machine and access the virtual machine in your environment. So this is called a infrastructure as a service, because user is directly accessing infrastructure and he create his own virtual machines without asking or requesting any administrator. Directly he can able to access because of this. So what is this vCloud directory? vCloud directory provide an interface to the users and also connect our infrastructure. Okay, next. Guys, understand this point? Infrastructure as a service. Cloud directly, I went cloud.
Yes, sir.
Correct. Only one question I want to ask. User created a virtual machine by logging to vCloud directory. And where is this virtual machine located? Where is this virtual machine located?
Cloud, sir. vCenter, sir.
Very good. One more. User created a virtual machine. Where is this virtual machine running?
So in user, I think.
Location. He created a virtual machine by
In
logging to
server,
vCloud.
server.
Which which server? This server, this server, this server.
So in vSphere servers.
Very good. vSphere server, because it is actually providing virtualization platform. All remaining are administrator portals only. They are not doing anything. Just they are giving interface only. I never said vCenter we can it will run the virtual machine. I didn't say, right. It's a admin portal only. That's just for a application only. This is also an application. Of course, it is a server, but still it is an application. But actually, who is running the virtual machines? Who can able to run the virtual machines? vSphere only.
vSphere.
Okay, so where we create a virtual machine, either you create here directly or you here create in a vCenter or vCloud directory. Okay, by admin or by user, but virtual machine runs always in a vCenter server only. Server virtualization platform only, hypervisor only it will run. Okay, that is very important to understand in cloud. Nowadays people are learning cloud. We have a cloud and we do all this blah, blah, blah. But where it will store, it should be stored in some physical location, right? You store a data in a Google Drive. Where it is storing? Somewhere, some physical location it will store the data. Cloud does not mean something it is imaginary kind of stuff. Cloud means somewhere a physical location or a physical machine is running that your machine or a storing a your data. Okay, so that is a myth about cloud, and now this is the actually thing. So this is infrastructure as a service. Why infrastructure as a service it is now? Because infrastructure we are accessing, virtual machines we are accessing. Okay, another hand, one more point I would tell. My organization Latif Tech Solutions, okay, like my organization maintaining these servers. My organization maintaining vSphere servers, vCenter servers, vCloud directory, and admin is my organization person, and user is also belongs to my organization only. User is also belongs to my company employee only. So this is called a private cloud. This is called a private cloud. So what is private cloud? User and infrastructure and administration within the same organization only, for our company related purpose, some client or some purposes. That's a different one. Okay, that is called private cloud. What is public cloud? If in case I put this vCloud directory into the public access, what is public access? Like google.com or a youtube.com. Okay, so like that we are everybody can able to access, right? Microsoft.com, aws, azure. You can access, I can access. Azure, I can access, you can access. Anybody can able to access through publicly. So publicly, a public user accessing your infrastructure and create a virtual machine in your infrastructure through network or internet. So that is called a public. That is called a public cloud. Okay, that is called a public cloud. Hybrid cloud means I have an infrastructure, but that is not enough now. So I will take public cloud. So then combination of private and public. So we call it as a hybrid cloud. But I didn't give an answer for a proper answer for a voice now. vSphere is a cloud computing virtualization platform. But if you hear now, again it will give confusion, right? vSphere is a virtualization platform. It is a virtual server virtual type 1 virtualization or a hypervisor. Okay, vSphere is a server which runs the virtual machines. Okay, cloud computing is not a separate one. Cloud computing is a interface to virtualization platforms. So then directly a user can able to access the infrastructure or an application or anything. But before that one, you have to virtualize your infrastructure or an application or a storage. Okay, so you have to separate this one. So you have to take a separate part, like, sorry, why this is not, color is not working. Separate part, see, separate part. You have to virtualize your server, then only we can provide a cloud. Okay, this is do nothing, it is only give interface, that's it. Okay, but which runs the virtual machines is spare, of course. It support for a cloud applications also, because we have to access private cloud purpose. Mainly people who using VMware vSphere, mainly for private cloud purpose. vCenter having lot of benefits are there. Okay, currently we don't have time. Okay, if possible I will take tomorrow also, but sir said finish today, but we'll see. Guys are up to okay or not okay?